While cooking, the player has a chance to create critical success foods that have greater properties. Cooking during a blood moon creates guaranteed critical food items with better properties 100% of the time between 11:30 p.m. and midnight when the blood moon cutscene plays. The temperature system can be managed in many different ways. For example, the player can survive in cold environments without elixirs or warm clothes just by equipping a fire rod or holding a lit torch to generate heat. Horses are not the only mounts in Breath of the Wild. The player can also mount a bear, deer, stall horse, but the stable employees won't let you register it out of fear. Lionels can be temporarily mounted after being stunned, and the Lord of the Mountain Satori can also be tamed and ridden, but not registered. The player can cook meat by dropping it on Death Mountain or anywhere in a hot environment, as well as getting cooked and frozen meat when killing enemies in hot and freezing temperatures, respectively. Out of all the arrows, only one type doesn't function based on the environment: bomb arrows. Bomb arrows won't work in the rain and also instantly detonate in hot areas like Death Mountain. The game over screen can be different colors based on how the player has died: red from heat or non-elemental damage, blue from drowning and cold damage, and yellow from electricity. Though there aren't any fishing rods in Breath of the Wild, there are many ways to fish: electric arrows, bombs, cryonis, or even just jumping in and grabbing them with your hands. Steam will actually rise off equipped fire weapons when it's raining. Plain chew jellies can be converted into other elements by striking them with an elemental weapon. Additionally, defeating a neutral chew using an element will also cause them to drop that element of chew jelly. Enemies can trigger cuckoo swarms, not just Link, meaning that the player can bait enemies into hitting it, causing the feathery hurricane of pain. Using ice arrows on enemies on Death Mountain will instantly kill most of them, as they will be affected by both ice and heat damage at the same time. Lionels will often stare down Link without attacking, and if the player draws their weapon, so too will the Lionel. Blood moons resurrect all enemies, including Guardian Scouts in shrines that can be re-fought to farm Guardian weapons. Far north of Hyrule in the Hebra Mountains at night, occasionally the player can see the Northern Lights. Also known as Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights are caused by electric particles from the sun entering the Earth's atmosphere at its weakest points, the North and South Pole, and colliding with gaseous particles like oxygen and nitrogen to produce a spectrum of light. The existence of these lights in Hyrule means that the reaction works the same in this world as it does in ours. Unarmed enemies will pick up surrounding items to fight the player, including each other. Moblins might occasionally pick up and throw an enemy bokoblin right at Link. Feeding a rock Octorok, a rusted weapon while it's inhaling, will clean it off and produce a new one. Befriending dogs at stables will have them lead the player to treasure. The player can befriend a dog by spending some time with it and then feeding it treats, preferably meat. Capturing and training horses is a major part of the game for players that use them as their main mode of transportation. Though most horse breeds have come with a set amount of dashes, feeding your horse an extra Endura carrot will give it 3 more charges. Link has a custom flexing idle animation for if he's not wearing a shirt, making this the only custom animation for an outfit, or lack thereof. Because it's their most commonly used weapon, unarmed Lizalfos will catch player-thrown boomerangs and use them in a fight. Campfires can be made by exposing wood to fire, most commonly through hitting flint to create a spark. Cutting down a tree with a flame blade will instantly make a campfire. Stables are good for merchants, registering horses, and even using the inn, but there's more to the environment than initially expected. Posters in stables will give recipes for different custom foods. Fire and ice wizrobes can be instantly killed when hit with an arrow of their elemental opposite/weakness. Cutting tall grass can spawn lizards, insects, and even fairies, akin to previous titles in the series. There are 900 Korok locations throughout Hyrule, as well as 16 different puzzle types: acorn, ball and chain, block, boulder in the hole, boulder in the goal, flower trail, fruit trees, ice, lily circle, moving sparks, offering, petroglyph, pinwheel, rock single, rock throw, and tree stump. There are over 120 shrines throughout Hyrule, in addition to the ones added by the Champion's Ballad DLC. Ever accidentally exchanged the 4 orbs for the wrong bonus at the statue and wish you could have changed your mind? Luckily for you, there's a sinister statue located in a tucked away corner of Hateno Village that deals in exchanging hearts for stamina and vice versa. The house that was going to be demolished in Hateno Village was revealed to actually be Link's old house pre-Calamity, meaning during the questline Hylian Homeowner, Link is actually working to restore his own home. The Korok seeds are actually Korok poop. After collecting all 900 of them, Hetsu will give the player Hetsu's gift, which looks like poop, and the description reads, "It smells pretty bad." The original Korok seeds were supposed to be rocks the player would stumble upon during their adventure. They originally used the Master Sword pedestal from Skyward Sword as a temporary asset. Though the feature was planned for the N64 Zelda game, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild is the first 3D Zelda game to feature manual jumping. When placing the Sheikah Slate on a pedestal, the Hylian text that can be seen running down the structure can actually be translated. One portion reads, "All your base are," in reference to Zero Wing, and another portion reads, "Now loading. Do not turn off your," before being cut off. The original panning shot of the Great Plateau is a reference to the illustration illustration of Link overlooking Hyrule from a cliff in the original Zelda. Players can land on Hinox and take items from their necklace without waking them, making a non-violent approach to the shrine quest, the Three Giant Brothers, possible, as the shrine orb can simply be removed from their person and brought to the shrine location. If Link is out of their attack range, Hinox will throw rocks and even whole trees at him. Black Hinox and Stalnox can even dig out bomb barrels to throw at the player, exploding on impact. Wolves are designed to fight Link as a unit, circling the player and often attacking him from different angles. Though these pack tactics may seem impenetrable at times, killing one wolf will often cause the others to scatter. The well-worn shirt and trousers found in the Shrine of Resurrection appear to be a bit small for Link, implying the young man had grown quite a bit since being resurrected. Though descendants of both Princess Zelda and Ganon's horses can be found in the game, Link's legendary horse Epona can only be obtained via one of the Legend of Zelda amiibo. While attempting to jump off Proxim Bridge in West Necluda, a character named Brigo will talk to Link and attempt to get him not to jump. This character may be an homage to Kevin Briggs, a retired Californian patrolman who has taken down over 200 potential jumpers from the Golden Gate Bridge. If the player has trained their horse to a certain level of affinity, they'll follow paths on their own. It's possible to switch weapons between a perfect dodge and a flurry rush, making it easier to select a powerful weapon for the combo attack in order to deal more damage. Horses will not swim in water while Link is riding them, but if they do end up in water, they can swim, meaning you can lead Epona to water, but you can't make her swim. The Rito Village music changes based on certain quests being completed, adding new instruments to the atmosphere. After the Terrytown questline is completed, the merchant Grante will be able to sell the player back any important armor they may have sold, and additionally sell the Hylian shield once it's been found inside Hyrule Castle and run out of durability due to use. Throughout Breath of the Wild, the player will encounter skeletons of 3 large Leviathans. Though it may not be their actual bodies and instead an homage, these are the remnants of Levias from Skyward Sword, Oshus from Phantom Hourglass, and the Windfish from Link's Awakening. Mount Agat is a mountain west of the Gerudo Highlands. Despite being a named location, an invisible wall blocks access to the top of it, making it inaccessible to the player through normal means. Both Zora and Rito are potential races of NPC throughout Breath of the Wild, even though in Wind Waker, the Zoras evolved into the Rito, as seen on Dragon Roost Island. Chew Jelly can be used as a kind of elemental bomb when shot with an arrow, exploding with ice, fire, or electricity. When fighting a Guardian, the player has an opportunity with good enough timing to deflect their laser shot back at the enemy. Reflecting a Guardian laser with a perfect parry can be achieved with any kind of shield, including the 1 durability pot lid. Each monk at the end of a shrine has its own unique poses and features, including the monks in the final room of the Sword Monk's Trial that each represent the 7 sages in Ocarina of Time, as they're oriented in the same way.